Hi guys, and welcome back to the next episode of our Guides Q&A. Thank you so much for all of the questions. We were overwhelmed with your response to our last Q&A, so we've decided to split this one up into two parts so that we can make sure we answer all of your questions at home.
One of the animals that has still evaded me all of these years in the bush is a caracal, which is a fairly large sized cat. It's about this big off the ground. Very rare to see, very nocturnal. So it's a challenge to see them.
A very good question from Paul. What is still on my bucket list of animals to see? Look, I've actually been really fortunate that I have seen a lot of the animals that I had never seen before during my time at Kwasiri Sands. The most notable was the pangolin, which I saw towards the end of last year, and that was definitely a bucket list animal for me, including things like aardvarks and porcupines, and I guess a few of the more nocturnal and elusive creatures that we don't get to see too often. But what is still left is the caracal, which is a kind of medium-sized cat, very characteristically reddish-brown fur with little ear tufts. And there have been a few sightings of caracal in our area, but I've never been on the scene or lucky enough to be there when they've been spotted. So the caracal for me is still something that I've never seen that I would really, really love to see.
Now my favorite animal actually is the hyena, oddly enough. But I feel that hyenas are so ugly that they're kind of cute, first of all. And that they have such a complex social structure. There's such interaction between individuals of a clan that makes them really unique for me.
What's my favorite animal? A great question, and one that we get asked quite a lot as guides. I have to say within my top three are elephants and actually chameleons. I love chameleons, but my favorite animal of all has to be the African wild dog. And I think for me, that's because they're a more diurnal predator, so they're most active during the daytime, whereas our cats are usually more active at night. So what that means for us and our guests is that we get quite lucky often seeing a hunt take place with the wild dogs, using usually the afternoon or early morning hours to go hunting, which is really exciting for us. And also they've just got such a wonderful social dynamic and family structure. So I love to see how they interact, and I love the way that they often look after each other within the group. So the African wild dog has to be my favorite.
Tamsin, I've always wanted to be a guide. I was about 8 years old when I first decided that I wanted to work in the bush. My dad actually took me to another lodge similar to the lodge we have with clients, and there I met a game ranger or a guide, and immediately I was like, that's what I want to be. One of my best sightings so far was a very interesting interaction between a lion and a hyena. So the lion ended up killing the hyena, unfortunately, but the interaction between the two male lions and this hyena was quite fascinating.
Really interesting question from you, Benali. Thanks very much. I had to do a little bit of thinking about this one. It wasn't too difficult to get into a routine as a guide. I guess the most difficult thing is the early mornings, particularly when you come back from 2 weeks on leave. Having to restart again at 4:30 in the morning is probably the most challenging thing. But otherwise, the routine is very much the same in terms of timing of morning and afternoon game drives. So you fall into that pattern quite quickly. And I guess our job is far from routine in that every single game drive is different. So you don't feel like you're on repeat, I guess. We still get really excited to go out every day and see what we find, because we never really know what's going to happen when we leave that front gate. So it's still really, really exciting for me. So that concludes our Guides Q&A for this week. Thank you so much for all of your questions. It's been really lovely for us to engage with you at home, wherever you are in the world at this time. We will be doing it again, so if you've got any questions you'd like to see us answer for you, please comment below this post, and we'll include them in our next Q&A. See you next time.